Welcome to the National Trust SH Irvine Gallery and a look behind the scenes of our permanent collection. First, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people, traditional owners of the land that we're meeting on today, and pay my respects to elders past and present. Whilst lockdown has restricted access to galleries and museums, we've decided to open up and give you a peek at our collection, so I hope you enjoy it. Today we're going to look at the work of Jessie Scarville, an artist whose ensemble of works came to our collection through the bequest of her daughter, Alison Wyndham Bundock. In a 6-year period while working in Elizabeth Bay from 1892 to 1898, Jessie Scarville exhibited over 67 paintings at the Art Society of New South Wales. Jessie Emily Scarville was born in Braidwood in 1862, the eldest daughter of Edward, a solicitor who'd married the senior partner's daughter, Annette Want. Both came from wealthy families and eventually moved their family to Macleay Street, Potts Point. In her first appearance in the 1892 Art Society exhibition, the Sydney Illustrated News noted, "Miss Jessie E. Scarville is another of the new exhibitors and shows great promise." She was elected as an ordinary member of the Society's Council in 1894 through to 1896, and then again 1898 to 1899. She mainly exhibited with the Art Society of New South Wales, where her work was favourably reviewed. In 1901, at the age of 39, Jessie Scarville married Charles Wyndham Bundock and subsequently moved to Cooralbyn, a 15,000-acre cattle station near Beaudesert, Queensland, where Charles owned and bred thoroughbred horses. They had one child, Alison Wyndham Bundock. By this stage, Jessie had abandoned her art and focused on her garden, which became famous throughout the region. Jessie Scarville's paintings demonstrate her interest in the beauty of natural settings, seeking to capture the colour and atmosphere of the Australian light. Her paintings depicting bright green sweeping fields against purple mountainous backdrops were praised by the critics of the time. Her style embraced the Australian Impressionist movement and plein air practice of direct painting and entire artwork outdoors, so favoured by her teacher, William Lister Lister. Excursions into the bush and coast were popular as an antidote to urbanised life, though not without difficulties, as social restrictions forbade women to stay overnight in these camps. It is likely Scarville was well aware of works in the collection of the Art Gallery of New South Wales, such as Julian Ashton's A Solitary Ramble, 1888, Arthur Streeton's Still Glides the Stream, 1890, and Cremorne Pastoral, 1895, which all entered the collection the year they were painted. Jessie Scarville was selected to be included in the Exhibition of Australian Art in London, organised by the trustees of the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and held at the Grafton Galleries in September 1898. She was represented by 5 paintings. The exhibition featured 371 works by 114 artists, including the well-known leaders of the Australian Impressionist movement, Streeton, Roberts, Conda, McCubbin, and importantly for Jessie, Lister Lister, as well as a number of women artists whose names have not become as celebrated today. The Westminster Gazette took the greatest pleasure in the agreeable air of the un-Britishness that pervaded the collection, whereas the critics for the Globe and the Architect lamented the clear influence of progressive French art on the Australians. The Architect's critics stated that, barring 1 or 2 exceptions, there is nothing to suggest any tie between the colony and England, nor any work which is reminiscent of an English scene. My personal favourite is Casuarina's Shoalhaven, which beautifully captures the colours of twilight and evokes the sound and rustling of movement through the trees. I think it's entirely possible that this work was one of the 5 that travelled to London. I think it's an important work for her. The frame is intricate and expensive. From the records, we know that one work exhibited in the Grafton Gallery's London exhibition, Mid the Tall She Oaks Where the Daylight Die, does sound a lot like our Casuarina's. Jessie died in 1950 at the age of 88, and in 2003, following the death of her daughter Alison, this group of works came to our collection. They were in a poor condition, but following a successful fundraising appeal, we were able to have them conserved, and they're now a collection highlight. The Trust's collection continues to evolve the donations of works, and we're really grateful to our members for their generous support.